Very special opportunity here for us on the Plant Doctor. We're going to look at container gardens today. I have Courtney Lazanis with us from Zone 9 Creations, and she's out of the Tampa area. I'll leave a link down in the description below to her website. She does fantastic work. I've been filming all week here at this property. Just happened to run into Courtney as she was watering, and she was gracious enough to come over and do a quick video with me. Courtney, what I'm really looking at here is I want to do a video on what are we doing month to month to get a gorgeous container like this. So say in January and February, what are we doing with this?
So January and February, we really just spend a lot of time pulling any dead out, making sure it's not getting too cold. We do actually get some below normal conditions for as far as these plants are concerned. They're much more tropical. So we will water, we'll check water, make sure we're not overwatering. We will give them a little bit of dose of fertilizer a little bit later in the year, probably closer to November. That will allow them to hold that over until January, February. Okay. Pulling out any dead, just kind of making sure that they're happy through the winter
So
months.
in the winter months, we're kind of deadheading and just prepping for what we're going to do in spring?
Correct.
So what are we going to do in the spring?
So in springtime, most likely, depending on if these are still flowering, these are bromeliads, Gazania bromeliads. So sometimes they'll lose their bloom. Mm-hmm. The client here in particular likes to see a lot of different color. So if these are not blooming anymore, we would pull these out and transition them into something else.
Okay.
We may just cut back, old blooms on that and add two. We'll fertilize again. Again, in the springtime, depending on how quickly our weather warms up, we're just kind of monitoring them, mm-hmm. changing pots out as we need to.
So you mentioned fertilizer. What type of fertilizer are you using on your pots?
Yeah, we use a mixture of both. When we put in new plants, we'll use a granular, we'll use like an Osmocote slow release.
A slow release?
Type
okay.
of, yeah, mm-hmm. 3 months typically
mm-hmm.
we'll get out of that. If we're doing more of an annual or a perennial flowering kind of plant, you typically more in the sun, this is in the shade. Mm-hmm. But we will do more of a fast release liquid, heavier phosphorus to get more bloom out of that.
So the phosphorus is going to promote the flowers, right?
Correct.
So
Yep.
Most of our viewers know when you look on the fertilizer bag, you have those three numbers. It's N, P, and K,
Yes.
nitrogen, phosphorus,
Yes.
and potassium. And I've had many conversations with our viewers that the phosphorus really promotes the flowering of the plant. So you're heavy on the phosphorus to get this output. And so you're doing a 90-day prill in spring. Are we going to do another 90-day prill in the summer?
We would,
Okay,
yeah.
so we're going to do two applications. Yep. We're going to do a spring application, a summer application. And we're filming right now in October. Are you going to do another fertilizer
We will,
application?
because we haven't done this one yet.
Okay.
So next month we would probably put more in there.
So in
Yep.
November we're going to do one more. So there's constant feed in the pot.
Yep.
We're never putting this totally to sleep. I guess being this far south, you never...
don't. There's no break.
This is zone 10, so I'm normally filming in zone 7B, and we kind of have a break, if you will. We get to, I would say, starting in around Thanksgiving, and then to about Valentine's Day. There's not a whole lot going on. And then we get things like daffodils popping up around then, and then it's full bore from there. Yep. But down here, it's year round, right?
Yes.
In terms of watering, how do you water these pots?
Well, normally depends on the type of substrate that we have mm-hmm. as far as soil goes, but we usually use a good potting soil, mix a little bit of topsoil just for drainage. So we will hand water, or we will just use the hose about once a week. This is in a little bit more shade, so it might not need a whole lot.
Okay.
Check the soil, make sure it's not overly wet.
So your pots in full sun maybe twice a week?
Correct.
And then full shade maybe once a week?
Correct.
Okay. And then you mentioned your potting media. Do you have a specific media that you're using?
We actually just find what's at our local garden center.
Okay.
We haven't found, we used to use a Fawford mix that mm-hmm. has not really been super available mm-hmm. in our area lately. Mm-hmm. So we just find what we can to mix together.
Okay. All right. But I'm assuming it's going to be some peat and some vermiculite.
Yeah.
Perlite,
right.
Sand,
compost. It depends on how they mix it. There's a little bit more of a mulch in there, a little bit of sand, mm-hmm. and then some compost in it.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's great. That's it, folks. So you have a 12-month regimen of what to do for beautiful containers like this. If you're in the Tampa area, look up Zone 9 Creations. I'm looking at this yard, and it is top notch. They'll do a fantastic job for you. Guys, as always, thank you for watching The Plant Doctor. And until next time, happy gardening.